So when I say who are you, mainly
background picture.
Thank you.
All right.
So we can take off. Hello, welcome back to Talk with Becky. Thank you so very much for joining us. And yes, I am with someone today. I have this lovely guest of mine. Her name is Charity. Charity is going to tell us a little bit about herself, and from there we'll get to find out why she's here. Okay? Hi Charity, welcome to Talk with Becky.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're
Excited
welcome.
to be here.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about Charity? Who's Charity?
Okay, so my name is Charity Mushibi, like you've said. I'm a special needs teacher.
Okay.
I did study special education and civic education.
Okay.
That's my minor.
Ah, all right. No, that's nice. I'm glad you said special education because we just started a topic of talking about children's development, and since you are our special guest, you will be talking about special education. How has that been for you? You mentioned that you are a special need teacher. For how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in the field of special education?
Okay. So I've been working since 2022. Yes, to date. I've been working as a special needs teacher. Yes.
Okay.
It's been an amazing journey. Yes. Yeah.
Any challenges that you've faced, and how have you been able to overcome them?
Okay, so like I said, it's been an amazing journey, full of learning, relearning, knowing more about myself and knowing more about the kids that I work with. So I've faced a lot of challenges that have made me view special needs, like have a different view about it.
Okay.
So I think one of the challenges is when you're working with children who have difficulties with communication, because a child may want to tell you what they want and they're unable to, and you're trying to figure out like, what do you want? And you're just trying to put your thoughts together. How best can I help this child? But at the end of the day, you still find a way how I'm going to help that child. I think that's just been one of the challenges. And the other thing that I'd like to state is working with children whose parents haven't accepted the condition of their child. I think that has been a bit stressful for me. Yes, because you find here's a child who is on the spectrum, for example, and the parents that refuse, like my child he or she does not have any special needs of any sort. So it becomes a challenge because there are needs that this child needs to receive from a parent and a special needs teacher. So you find you as a teacher putting in your all, and there's nothing coming from the parent side. I think that's just been the challenge. But overall, it's been a beautiful journey.
No, that's really interesting because sometimes parents can notice things with their children, but just to think about the fact that my child will have a label. It's like, no, I think no, really my child. This one, no, that's how it is, or that's how she is. But yeah, it could be challenging for you as a teacher because you want to make sure that whatever you're working with the child at school, it's something that is also catered for at home as well. But if they're not accepting that, then it becomes really difficult. So what has been one of your wow moments? If you have many, please share one or two, like an experience where you're like, wow, this child is able to do this, or is able, something like that. Can you share that with us?
So I do have my wow moments, my exciting moments, especially like I've said, I've been working with kids since 2022 to 2024, and I think one of the exciting moments is seeing a child who could not talk start saying one or two words. And I was like, oh my goodness, And one of the things is seeing a child who could not sit down and do their work. Now they're able to sit and do their work. So to me, I think every mini progress that a child makes, to me, that's a wow moment. It could be something small to people around me, but to me, it's a wow moment. As long as a child has made progress, no matter how small it is, to me, it's like,
that's great. No, I'm just thinking about the fact that we are in the similar field, of course, and I understand what you mean, like just a small progress. You're like yes, and like what you said, about parents not really acknowledging or accepting. You are able to see a mini progress, but for them it's like maybe they're not seeing anything. But because they're not accepting, it's rather a little bit challenging for them to actually see the progress. So is there something that you would want people in general to know about special needs children? Like, what kind of information do you think is sort of lacking for the society, for people in general, when they hear special needs? What do you think comes to their mind?
Okay, I think when we talk of today, I think somehow I can say there's been a lot of sensitization and awareness about special needs that have been done compared to the past. I think when we hear special needs, most people rush to think of like, maybe a person is mentally retarded, somebody who cannot walk. Like, there is more about children with special needs. Trust me, they're genius. They're amazing in their own ways. I think the best way to look at special needs is look at them as who they are. Don't attach the label like they are special needs, but just look at this child like, oh, this is a child with special needs. Now focus on their abilities. I think that's what the challenge is. Mostly we start thinking of what this child cannot do. We neglect what this person is capable of doing. Yeah, so I think that's the view that we should have, is looking at the ability that this particular child has.
Okay. You said something about, the challenges of something that you faced, right? Now, I want to attach that with this question. How do you think parents, teachers, therapists can work together in ensuring that a child's development is, like, their potential is actually well met? What are some of the things that you feel like if they come together, you might actually see massive change?
I think one of the things, the first thing that I would like to mention is if a parent has accepted that their child has special needs, trust me, they'll be looking out for for the needs of the child. So the first thing is the parent to accept, because now we're talking about multidisciplinary team, where you have the therapist, you have the teacher, you have the nurse, you have the psychologist, you have maybe the physiotherapist, and you have all these people that will come together to see how best the child can be helped. So I think the best thing is establishing clear and attainable goals. So make sure you set out goals that you as a team are able to achieve, and these goals should be something that can be done at home, at school, or when a child goes for therapy.
Okay. And how does the opposite work out? If, for example, people are actually not working hand in hand together, how does that affect your work in general? If they say parents or therapists or other, occupational therapists are not really just making or forming a team to ensure that the child is actually the needs of the child is well met. So
I think the person, or I'll use the word person. I think the person who suffers more in this case is the child. Because trust me, I look out what's best for the child. So if I'm not working, I'm not in good terms with my team, or we're not cooperating, ensuring that we follow the rules that we've set, or the targets, or the steps that we've set to achieve our goals, if we're not following that, the person who suffers at the end of the day is the child. So that's the challenging thing. So I think it's best we work together as a team and have common goals, because at the end of the day, we're trying to create a conducive and nurturing environment for the well-being of the child.
Nice. So that also brings back to the fact that if the parent hasn't accepted, the child is the one that suffers, because it means they will not be able to, cooperate with you and make sure that the things that you need them to do at home, they're being done, and they're being involved in the development of the child. That's interesting. So you've talked about, people being educated about special needs, but do you think that we now have facilities for special needs children? Like, if a child goes to school, do you think that the school, or just in general, or the government itself, are they also putting in, facilities that can actually help children with special needs?
I think in as much as Zambia as a country, they've participated in there's a dialogue that deals with special needs, signing documents here and there. But I feel we still have a long way to go when it comes to facilities. Yes, we have special needs schools, and when you look at where we are now, like a lot of special needs schools, almost wherever you go, there's a special needs school. But I think there is more that needs to be done in terms of facilities. When you look at even just buildings that we have, there are few buildings that people with those that which are bound can actually access. Even in schools, I don't think we have enough learning materials, and also I think teachers do not receive enough support that they need to ensure that they give what the student needs. So I think we still have a long way to go, and we still need to provide more facilities for children with special needs.
That's really interesting.
Just like when you even talk of assessment centers, we don't have a lot of assessment centers here in Zambia. Maybe it's UTH and here and there. So I think we still have a lot of work to do to ensure that the needs of children with special needs are met.
No, you're right. Because I have been to different schools, and sometimes I just observe, because that's really my job. And you be like, I don't understand why you are able to cater to children with special needs if you don't have A, B, C, D. And I think when we think about special needs children, we forget the fact that yes, they may have difficulties in learning, but there are actually things that we can do to help them. Something as simple as maybe what do you call this? A tree house. Something as simple as that, it can actually help a child, stimulate their sensory overdose, or something as simple as Play-Doh, things like that. You're like, I wish, or I had hoped that you have things like that. So as we close, I want to find out, what made you do special? Because I'm hearing you talk, and not only that, guys, I've watched Charity work. Okay, she's brilliant. If you were to see her work with children, she's brilliant. She has a heart. Okay, she has a heart for children. Now I want to find out behind that, what made you choose special needs? Because it's a very challenging field. So what made you go for it?
Here's a funny story. Very funny story. So when I went to apply, my family wanted me to do developmental studies.
Okay.
When I went to online swap.
Oh.
And I had to put special education needs. Yes, I faced a bit of challenges at home. Why did you choose? And that's the time I realized people are not aware about special needs. All they'll think of is a child with physical challenge, like I said, mentally retarded or something like that. That was there is more that needs to be done. People need to know there's beauty in about special education. So aside from that, I think one of the personal reasons why I studied special education, my mom has a physical challenge. And growing up, I always didn't know how I can help her. Mom is very independent. She does her own things, but physically you can say okay, there's something. So growing up, I was like, how best can I help my mom? Okay, so I think that's one of the reasons why I studied special education. And for me, working with children with special needs, it's not just a profession. For me, it's passion and purpose. I find fulfillment in that. It brings joy to me. And just seeing a child do what they couldn't do before I met them. So that brings so much joy. And also just making a difference in a child's life. That's everything.
That's rewarding.
Yes, it is.
No, you're right, because I remember when you're talking about your mom, having some challenges. I remember the fact that I had a nephew actually with cerebral palsy, but I was young when he was born, and all I could see was him just, his head was just like that, and he never really grew to, to the age of I think 3 or 4. I think by 2 he had passed on, but I had no idea what it was. I had no idea, and the funny thing is that the first child that I've ever worked with was with cerebral palsy, and I was like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, interesting. But you're right, because even in our family, sometimes it's actually difficult for people to understand what special needs is, and for them to actually, applaud you for doing the work, but not only applaud you, but for them to also understand that, they're actually children with special needs, and we actually need to be educated about them. And if my child decides to do that, then of course let's go ahead and support them. That is really interesting. So before you go, is there anything that you want to say, like your final words? And this has been amazing, by the way, but before you go, is there anything that you want the people to know, the parents to know, your fellow special needs teachers? Is there anything that you want to share with them?
Okay, firstly, I would like to state that For me as a person, special education needs or being a special needs teacher is not just a profession, it's passion for me. So what I would like to say is like everybody or anyone who wants to study special education, they should do it because they want to do it, because they love it, because they want to be around children with special needs. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is early acceptance, because once a parent accepts the condition of a child, that will help us to have an early identification, and this identification process helps us to even avoid some of the problems that a child can encounter, because we have identified the problem early enough and we know how best to attend to it. The other thing that I would like to talk about is teamwork between parents and teachers and other professionals that are involved when it comes to meeting the needs of children with special needs. Apart from that, I think it's just facilities we should talk about, ensuring that teachers have what they need to teach children with special needs. I think that makes the job more exciting because you have all the resources that you need to help children with special needs.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Charity. It's been amazing having you here, and I hope that people out there were educated about special needs, and those who have the desire to do special needs, please go for it. It's amazing. It is amazing. It's challenging, I won't lie to you, but it's amazing. Like she said, just seeing a child sit down for 2 minutes, one who couldn't sit for a second, you'll be glad that you actually did this. All right, Charity, thank you so much for coming here. I hope to see you again soon on Talk with Becky. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And today we were talking about special needs education, and it's amazing that I'm able to sit here with this lovely lady to talk about special needs education, something that is really close to my heart. And I hope that you are able to learn 1 or 2 things about special needs education, especially children with special needs. And next time when you see a child that looks like, I don't know, why is he behaving like that? Before you start saying things, please ask the guardian, please ask the person that is next to the child what is happening, or Google, okay? If they tell you about it, Google, all right? And from there, we can actually help these children have a better development and meet their needs. All right, this has been Talk with Becky. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, bye.